Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Today is Tuesday, January 4, 2022. Yesterday was a strong day in the markets. We closed up near the highs of the session. This morning we gapped up, and after a little bit of consolidation in the S&P, it has rolled over and is heading down to the downside. The Nasdaq's been much weaker. You can see the Nasdaq, this bottom left chart, we've got kind of a big bear flag forming here and trading down near the lows. The S&P is this upper left chart. You can see we gapped up this morning and kind of tried to go higher, didn't do very good, or did not do a very good job of doing so before it rolled over, broke lower, filled the gap, and is continuing down well into yesterday's range. So what we're going to be looking at this afternoon is this pattern around yesterday being a strong close and today taking back a good portion of it. So let me go ahead and get this set up. We're going to use a 3 p.m. entry based upon getting long at 3 p.m., exiting at 4:15 p.m. Eastern time. Now, this morning we gapped up. I'm going to add that to the study by going to gap up here from the opening filters. Next, I'm going to go to the post-open filters, and I'm going to say that the low of the session today is below yesterday's midpoint. So I'm going to go here, intraday low versus daily levels. I'm going to hit equals for less than prior day midpoint. That means that the low that is made between the open and the time of entry, which I've got set to 3 o'clock, is less than the prior day middle of the range level. And for the S&P, that would be 67.50. 47.67.50. So our low is below that now. And I'm also going to say that we are trading in the bottom 25% of the intraday range as of 3 o'clock. So we'll have to confirm that at 3 o'clock to make sure that that is true. But this one down here is already true. And next thing I want to add is that yesterday closed up near the highs of the session. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to click on this close in top 25% of the daily range. You can grab it from the active today as well. That's just as easy of a place to get it from. But that's going to give us a pattern around, a strong close followed by a gap up. But if the low is below the prior day midpoint, then you can see we are starting to take back a good portion of yesterday's gains. So that's what I'm trying to capture with this idea. And I've got both of those there. Lastly, I'm going to put us in a similar market environment. We're up at all-time highs, so above a 10, above a 200-day simple moving average. And now I can click View Results. All right, here we go. These are the results based upon entering the market long at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, exiting at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. When you gap up and at 3 o'clock you are trading in the bottom 25% of the intraday range and your low is below the prior day midpoint. The prior day had a close at the top 25% of its daily range. So the prior day was a strong day where you're setting up with a more weak action on the current day after a gap up. This is taking place above a 10 and 200-day simple moving average. Historically, 58 samples in the S&P, 63 in the Nasdaq, 48 in the Dow, 45 in the Russell. And what's kind of interesting about this, you can see it on the equity curves here. All the equity curves are sloping downward here. And if you look at the win rates, at least 3 of the 4 are at least mildly favored. They're not super strong, but S&P coming in at 53%, the Nasdaq 52%, the Dow 54%, and Russell 49%. So win rates on these neutral, just slightly favored on most of them. But if you look at the average losses are quite a bit larger than the average wins. You're seeing that there in the S&P, in the Nasdaq, in the Dow, and the Russell. So win rates are pretty neutral. The bigger moves are taking place on the downside, very similar to what we looked at this morning on the study that we looked at, and it showed win rates were pretty neutral, but historically the risk had been on the downside. That looks like that is carrying forward here until the end of the session as well. So more risk to the downside is what that shows. Hopefully you found that helpful. Good luck today. We'll see you next time.